Hey guys, we're back again for another week of Cincy game hunting, and we're going back to the Thrift. I know the last couple of weeks have been crazy with the Walmart stuff, but we got to get back to the roots and start going thrifting again, and I'm kind of itching for it. So we're going to stop at the one down the street from my house, see what we get. So, background, my local St. Vincent usually doesn't have a lot of games on the wall. So, when I happened to see this SBK Superbike game, I was super excited because I don't find racing games or any kind of game outside of a token sports game or two. So that was pretty awesome. I was excited to find that Superbike on the 360, the Superbike World Championships. And all the games at this thrift store are $2 a piece. It was not a deal day, but $2 a piece is still a great deal on any game. But that's where it got crazy. I looked over a little bit off to the side, and these were sitting there. Wii Sports Resort. This time it was in there. I said a couple weeks ago we had a game that was Mario Party 8 was in there, which was fine. I'm happy with that. But Wii Sports Resort, and it is actually in there this time. And again, $2 for that. That'd be a good day right there, just having those two games. But wait, there's more. Mario Kart Wii was on the shelf right next to it. And that was $2 as well. All these Wii games that I'm finding were amazing finds. I'm like sitting here like, there's never this many games on the wall there. So I was like, 3 games, awesome. Good day already. Nope, gonna keep on going. Walk down the way, and in the crates of the overflow stuff, there was a whole bunch more Wii games sitting around. And we picked up Mario and Sonic at the Winter Olympics. Awesome game. I think I might already have this one in the collection, so it's maybe a flipper. But I was pretty stoked about that. But it ain't over yet. We also picked up Wii Party. And I actually found this one time at a Salvation for, it was brand new sealed. Yeah, Wii Party for $2 at the St. Vincent as well. And when you think it couldn't get any better, they also had a copy of New Super Mario Brothers. Amazing. I haven't had a thrift store find like this in a while. To find 5 really good Wii games all lined up together, first party Wii games, for $2 a piece. That is how we start a week off. Yeah, that, as I said, that St. Vincent de Paul usually lets me down. There's rarely ever anything there. I will occasionally find one game buried in a crate or something like that. every once in a blue moon, but I've never found this many games lined up together, good games, to grab all together. So that's like starting that week off with NCAA 14. I don't know how I'm going to finish the week off and beat anything by that, but what a great start to the week. All right, so we stepped into Goodwill real quick, and I don't usually have a ton of luck at this Goodwill. They flat price their games at $5 a piece, and there's usually not much of a selection. Today they had a good chunk of games, but it was mostly stuff that I already had. So I did find one game, and oddly enough, I think she didn't know what to make of it because it's a PSP game. She only charged me $1 for it, so I don't know if it was a deal day or what. But I think movies usually go for $3 here, and CDs go for $2. So I don't know what she thought this was, but I wasn't going to argue with her. Resistance Retribution for the PSP. If you haven't played the original Resistance games on the PS3, there's 3 games for that on the PS3. Give them a try. They're all first-person shooters, and it was actually a launch title for the PS3, I believe, back in the day. But this one looks like it's going to be like a third-person shooter, so I'm interested to try this one out and see what it's all about. And anytime I can find a PSP game for cheap, you know I'm going to pick it up. All right, it was half off day over at Salvation Army, and I got pretty excited because when I looked in the cabinet where all the games were at, I didn't see anything at first. And then behind everything, there was a stack of games with a pair of like VR goggles blocking my view of them. So I had her pull them out, and there were GameCube games. There's an unfortunate thing about that, though. 2 of them were sports games. One was a baseball game, which I didn't care to grab. The other one was a Madden game, which I didn't really care to grab, and the disc wasn't there. Then there was SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, which the price on that has come down quite a bit, but I already have it on Xbox. But I was going to grab it anyway if it was only $1.50. No disc in that one either. All right, well, I looked over at the Super Monkey Ball, and that was in there. Unfortunately, and I wish I would have taken a picture of it, the disc wasn't just scratched. It was cracked. Like it was like a spider web crack all over the disc. Or not really all over, but on the one side of the disc. And I'm like, there's no way this thing's going to play. and I already have the game, and I don't really feel the need to purchase it for the chance that it might work. So yeah, that was kind of a bummer. They had some GameCube games in there, and I thought I was going to get a big score there, and not so much. Come on. You knew I couldn't go a whole week without at least hitting one Walmart. There have been a lot of 3DS games on sale at the Walmarts that I've noticed recently. And I remember going over to this Walmart and seeing a bunch of them on the floor of the case. So I figured I'd sneak by and see if there's anything left over. And there were 2 games on the floor of the case for the 3DS. One of them was $32, but this one was $5. New Super Mario Bros. 2. And if you guys have played this on every system that Nintendo's had in the last few years, you know this is a blast. They've had it on the Switch, on the Wii U, on the Wii, on the DS. These new Super Mario Bros. Games are fantastic. So $5 for this is a no-brainer. And I'm probably going to give this to Andrew because he has a blast with the one we play on the Wii. And I know he's going to have fun with this one. And like I said, $5, 3DS games. Guys, keep an eye out for them. They're out there. All right, we stepped into One Stop Thrift Shop over on the west side real quick, and not a lot of new product in there. Haven't seen anything really new popping up, but I got lucky and found a stack of games that were just kind of sitting off to the side that weren't locked up yet. So I don't know if they were just priced recently. They hadn't had a chance to put them in the cases yet, but found a game. And it was for a better price than I thought it was going to be. I knew that I think this is the last version of Fight Night on the PS3, or any system actually, that is. Fight Night Champion. And I think this game goes for around $20, $25. It was only $2.50. So the case has seen better days. The disc is fine. The disc is perfect. But the case is pretty banged up. But I can switch that out pretty quickly. And yeah, last Fight Night game on the PS3. And I picked it up for $2.50. Gotta love it. All right, as you guys saw, we stepped into a Goodwill over on the west side, and this is a Goodwill that I haven't had a lot of luck at recently. I kind of walked over to the shelf where all the games are. It was just the token sports games that every Goodwill or St. Vincent has. But I walked over to the jewelry counter, and then behind the glass case behind there, usually they have a couple of games maybe that are priced higher than normal. And they did have a PS3 game in there that was priced at $6. They usually price everything $3 flat. And occasionally when they throw something in the case, it's just they put it for $6 or whatever. I mean, it's fine, whatever, if you find the game that you want to sell for more. The game in there was like Dishonored for the PS3, and it really wasn't worth more than the rest of them, so I don't know what the logic behind it was. But they also had this Namco Museum Battle Collection for the PSP. And once again, I took it to the counter, and they looked at it funny, like they didn't know what it was, and she charged me $2 for it. I guess the fact that PSP cases are strange looking is kind of working in my favor this week. So anyway, picked up Namco Museum Battle Collection for $2. And this is a compilation of like 20 different games, 21 different games I think it was. And I think it's a bunch of classic games, and then they have 4 remixes they did of like Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and like Galaga. But yeah, it's a great deal for $2. It's like 21 games for $2. Gotta love that. As you saw, they also had a Xbox 360 in there, and I got kind of excited. Maybe I'll grab another cheap 360. They wanted $50 for it, and I'm like, nope. But hey, another cheap PSP game, $2 for the Namco Museum Battle Collection. Love it. All right, quick trip into Goodwill on my way into work, and they actually had a good chunk of games in there. Unfortunately, it was pretty much just stuff I already had, so nothing really worth rebuying. And they ended up having a Wii there for like $24, but it wasn't complete. It just had like the power brick and the center bar. And if it had some Wiimote or something like that, and maybe like, you know, the AV cable, I probably would have been down for it. But if I want to buy a loose Wii, I'm gonna buy it for like $10 to $15. That's like the max. Just because I've got a Wii at home. I usually buy them as a backup, and if I complete one that I can trade in and all of a sudden the prices spike, I can trade it in for a good chunk, I'll do it. But like, there's no wiggle room for $25 for an incomplete Wii. So anyway, we did pick up one game, and this game kind of intrigued me. Victorious Boxers Revolution. It kind of looks like a Punch-Out game, like a Mike Tyson's, or not Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, but you know, the Wii Punch-Out game. And I'll show you some video here, but like it looks pretty cool. I think you can use the Wiimote like to do like, you know, the motion boxing, or you can use the controller to do it. So I'd rather do that because honestly, I don't really get into the whole motion control playing games. So, but yeah, this is only $5. I think it's like a $10 game, but it looked really cool. I looked at the graphics in the back, and it looked like pretty much just like a Punch-Out, like the Wii Punch-Out game. So I'll give it a whirl. A game that I haven't had, never seen before. So $5. We'll do it. All right, guys, last stop of the week, and we actually hit up a pawn shop, Cash America Pawn, over kind of on the north side of town. And I usually don't hit pawn shops up very much because I don't have a lot of luck there. Usually all my games that I find are always at thrift stores, so to find games at a pawn shop was pretty exciting for me. First of all the older games at this pawn shop are usually around $3 a piece, and they're actually down to $2 today. I asked what their going rate for them was. So I started grabbing a bunch of them off the wall, and when I started to inspect the discs, there was a lot of them that just had either cracked center rings, and actually one of them was cracking all the way up into the disc itself. And the other ones had scratches that were deep, and the ones that I didn't think were going to be repairable. So kind of a bummer, because I think Toy Story 3 was a nice $20 game, and that was one that had the worst damage of them all. And there was a couple other ones like that Lucha Libre, the wrestling game, looked pretty cool, and that was scratched up pretty good. And there was an Ace Combat game that I hadn't seen before, and I was excited about that, and nope. We found 2 games in that section. First one is Far Cry 2, which surprisingly enough, I don't have in the collection. I have every other Far Cry game but 2. So grabbed that for $2. Nice little pickup there, and it's only like a $10 game, but for $2, totally worth it. Another one is a game that I've seen a bunch and I'd never gotten around to playing it. Clive Barker's Jericho. I think it's like a survival horror game. Not too much knowledge on this game. It's like a first-person shooter, but looked pretty cool, and $2. Give it a try. Now, I went over to the more current gen stuff afterwards, and they actually had prices down quite a bit from what they used to have. They used to be almost like $20 straight across the board for everything. And then games like Switch games and like newer gen games were always like $30 to $40. So, okay. They did have a PS5 game which I wanted to get, but they wanted $50 for it, and I'm like, no. If I'm gonna get PS5 games, I'm just gonna trade credit to get them. So we ended up finding a Switch game on the wall, and he wanted $20 for it. But then I saw another Switch game behind the actual like Switches they had for sale in a baggie. Now I'll show you that in a second. But I bundled the 2 of them for $30 combined. The first one is Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And it's a loose copy, but I mean, loose, this game is still like a $35 game, but picked it up for $15 after bundling it. And yeah, Fire Emblem 3 Houses for $15, totally gonna grab that one. And here's the one that I saw behind the Switches. It was just kind of hanging out in a baggie. There was a basketball game, and then there was this. Mario 3D All-Stars. So I got that for $15 as well. That's pretty awesome. Was not expecting to grab that today. I was kind of holding out on this one and maybe getting lucky later on after all the excitement died on it and maybe pick it up for cheap somewhere. But this is going to be going out of stores pretty quickly here, and I guess once March rolls around, they're not going to sell it anymore. So finally grabbed it up. Mario 3D All-Stars for $15 at the pawn shop. That's a way to end the week right there. 2 Switch games and 2 PS3 game and a 360 game. Altogether was like $34. That's awesome. Guys, not a bad week this week. We started out strong, we ended strong. And I appreciate you guys coming out with me each week. And guys, stay safe out there. And as always, keep hunting.